Fighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about. The hot topics and more. This is World One Developments News You Can Use with your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper and Ms. Damali Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio, watching us on Facebook Live, and on www.kbob899.com, or tuning into any of the News You Can Use media networks, which are powered by World One Development. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Mr. Molly Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, November 29th, 2023. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on Kbob 89.9 FM and Simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development. We are set for an exciting show, you guys. You better call your mom and them and tell them. You can dial in at 918-856-3873 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed at World One Development.
So, on today's show, charter, public, and private schools and politics.
Whoa.
What's the deal and how do they intersect?
Yep. Also, should government have any involvement in the school system at all? Let's talk about it.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics, which are former officer Derek Chauvin is injured in prison, and find out who owns the biggest and most expensive house in the United States, birthdays, and more.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and Simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development. We'll be right back, y'all. Look, I'm dedicating my show to Sherry Gamble Smith today. Since we ain't live, I'm gonna look at her.
Yeah, you're gonna look at Sherry.
I'm gonna look at Sherry, my partner.
Yeah, man.
I miss
She's
her.
missed.
Man, I miss
Well,
her.
we got so many that's gone.
Man.
Too many.
Woo. Man.
I was between her and Dean,
Oh,
so
man.
I said ladies
Yeah.
first, right?
Yeah, man. That's just so many.
I think next year we'll dedicate shows. We'll dedicate to some of our fallen soldiers.
Yeah, man.
What you think about that, Damali?
Mhm.
We'll dedicate some
Yeah.
shows. So we're kicking off the new year by dedicating some of these shows to certain people.
Love it.
Yeah.
We got to get Dean. We got to get Kevin Walsh. We got to get Dwayne Midget,
Yeah.
Sherry.
Sherry, right. Leon Lawson, all of them.
We got about Terry McGee.
Terry McGee. There's a bunch of them.
There's a lot of people there.
And you know, a lot of those
Yeah,
guys.
Sheila.
a lot
You
of
see, you see your boy get done bad last night,
Who was that?
LeBron.
I didn't see it.
Ooh, they got beat terrible by the 76ers.
It happens sometimes. Man.
Yeah.
You know how it goes in the NBA.
Yeah.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and Simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Network, powered by World One Development.
And we are back. So News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt the community needed to hear about those things, one, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Charles Harper, Chief Executive Officer of World One Development, which includes fitting back in Edgerate Youth and Family Fun Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and Oklahoma Community Support Coalition. My job, because the world wants to know, is to provide leadership for all aspects of World One Development with the emphasis on long-term goals, growth, profits, and return on that investment. And I am so excited and I am so elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson, Chief Operating Officer for World One Development. And my job is designing and implementing business operations and establishing policies that promote company culture and vision. I am also in charge of social media for all of the World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I am also happy and elated to be one of the creators of this phenomenal show.
Damali,
What's cracking?
how are thou doing today?
You know what? I am doing really good because the sun is out today.
The sun is out. It's a nice day.
It
People
is.
out and about. I'm
Yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah.
Sounds like you are excited about it.
I am because it's been really cold, and you know I hate the cold.
Yeah. So
Absolutely hate it.
yeah, just like that, y'all. We get ready. We live now. So
Yeah.
if you out and about having a good time on this hump day, turn us up a little bit. Enjoy the show. Make sure you start sharing it right now because we getting into some meat and potatoes. But Damali, before that, man, Thanksgiving.
Man, let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Woo!
I ate way too much.
Me too.
But check this out. Didn't nobody eat more than that little grandbaby of mine.
Oh, the grandbaby was ready.
Prince Chemistry was introduced to turkey and dressing and potato salad and yams. Oh my God, he was popping his lip. This was his first Thanksgiving. It was on and popping.
He is never going to return back to the bottle again.
No. The formula is over with.
I got to give a shout out to my daughter.
Yes.
Down there in Oklahoma
I saw
City.
what she did. She did her thing.
Darius, the grandbabies.
Yeah.
Great hospitality. The whole family went down. We had an amazing time. Just enjoying each other, taking a lot of pictures, eating good food, and just fellowship. So hopefully everybody else, how did y'all Thanksgiving out there? What did y'all do? What did y'all eat on? We gave them the top 5 last week.
We did.
I ate everybody top 5. Mine, yours, JB's. Everybody top 5 I ate.
Tony's too.
Tony's, everybody. Tony Mason's, he was in here last week, so
it
was good all the way around, y'all. But I'm tell you what, man, it's good to have family, man. You can't take it for granted.
I need to give a huge shout out to Sugar Bears Barbecue.
Sugar Bears came through and
Marcus did my turkey, and baby, let me tell you, that turkey was on point.
He did mine.
Yes, he did Uncle Bobby too. See, I'm telling you. Yes.
Man. Was it fried or was it smoked?
It was smoked.
Smoked.
We did the smoke this year. Oh my God!
Who wants the smoke, Charles?
Is it true that the closer you get to the bone, the better that it gets?
Oh my God! You know what? We ate so fast. We was like locusts. We went through it, so I don't even know. But it was really good. So thank you, Marcus. We appreciate that. You did a phenomenal job. My family was very happy. I can say that.
Yeah. So definitely here on News You Can Use. We hope that all of y'all enjoyed your Thanksgiving. But you know what? Now we got to get back to work. We got to get over this hump.
Man.
So we're gonna try to get over that.
Some of us need to be back in the gym because baby.
Look. I got on the scale, and when I got off, I threw the scale in the trash can, and I claimed that the scale was lying on me.
Right.
But anyway,
I swear, Damali, I was driving down the street, and I seen Charles trying to beeline it to the gym.
Hey,
he was like, "I'm on my way to the gym right now, man. I'm having withdrawals."
JB is a witness. My daughter set me up.
Yes.
My daughter set me up.
Well,
My grandbaby was even making pies and cakes. So I'm gonna tell y'all something out there.
Yes.
Before we move on, don't bring me no more cakes, pies. I can't take it.
You know we got Christmas coming up, right?
I know, and that's my birthday too.
Yeah.
So I'm JB. What I was on my way to the gym. Like,
I will attest he was on his way to the gym.
I ain't even gonna say what
that's how you know you did way too much.
He almost ran me over trying to get to that gym. He's like, man, I got to get there now. Right behind you.
You know what? We did something else on Saturday. We did Shine on Greenwood. You know, last week we had Tony Mason in here who talked about, what was going to happen on Greenwood. And I'm telling you, they delivered. Now, it was a little chilly out. It got a little frigid. And it kind of rained on us towards the end, just a little bit. But let me tell y'all something. Hey. That concert lineup was amazing.
It was amazing.
Oh, my God.
And I know a lot of people, you local, especially local people, sometimes, you can get to where you always appreciate a talent.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of times you hear Tony a lot, you hear some of these people, but I'm telling you, when you come to something like that, it's different. Because there's never been lights on Greenwood. And when he said that, it's been sitting with me, Damali. I ain't gonna lie. Because you go to Rama, you go to Midtown, you go to South Coast, you go to Bixby. It's like Utica, it's lights everywhere. Yeah. And he said, man, we've never had lights on Greenwood.
And we need to do it.
But they lit it up.
They lit it up. And let me tell you. So shout out to Tony Mason, T. Rush, Dominica Williams, Alex Geiger, Valerie Harding, Majesty Pearson, and the band. Man, the band
got off.
Now, they did that.
Yeah,
and so,
we had a really good time.
It was so fun. It was nice being out. I'm just telling you, the only thing that was missing was snow, but we talking about fake snow because I don't be outside when it's
It was
snow.
cold enough to have snow.
It was, but it was so nice. It just really was like a lifetime movie. People were out drinking hot chocolate and coffee and, just sitting in their lawn chairs and enjoying the music. And toward the end, right as we were getting ready to light up, it started to rain a little
I
bit.
like that 360 that was going on.
The
I wasn't even thinking about the
360,
rain. I didn't even care. I was over there doing the cab. I'm like, let it rain, let it snow, let it do whatever you want to do. We on Greenwood. We turned up.
It was fun.
We having a good time. And for the crowd that came out, the biggest shout out go to the community.
Absolutely.
They showed up and showed out.
So next year, we're telling you guys right now, that was the inaugural event.
Right.
This is the plan is to do this every single year and to grow it just like we did Juneteenth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just like we did Legacy Fest.
I got to do one more shout out.
One more. Go ahead.
Last shout out for the Shine on Greenwood is to Autumn.
Autumn
Shout out to Autumn.
Yes.
If you watching, Autumn, shout out to you.
Great,
answering the
great
call.
job.
Because teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
I got something better than that.
What's that?
How about them Cowboys on
my
Thanksgiving?
goodness.
How about them Cowboys? JB talked to me there. The Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Tell me something.
I heard that they beat Washington 45-10. I didn't watch the game.
There was smoke in the city in Dallas.
Yeah.
We seem to be on our way to a very good playoff run and possibly, I ain't gonna say it yet.
Don't say
the
it.
big
Don't
game.
say it.
JB.
The
Don't
big
say
game.
it.
The biggest a possibility.
The big dance, huh?
If we can knock off Philly, we got a shot.
And we can knock off Philly.
Yeah.
We should have knocked off Philly at home.
Yeah.
So Michael Brewer, I see you.
Yeah.
You get ready.
You say
It's not this week, but
Y'all
next
coming for
week we coming.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to take them down. We got to take them down.
Look, let me tell you something, man. Man, the game was so good. They was eating turkey halfway through the fourth quarter.
Oh,
I'm like, is the game
Yeah.
over? They serving turkey and Dallas for you.
Turkey
Everybody was
legs,
eating full of it. I'm like, the game not even over. So come on, y'all.
And there was smoked turkey legs too.
Yes.
I know. My assumption is I feel like Washington coaches and some of the fans might have been like, okay, now that's a little bit unusual.
Oh well.
But it is Thanksgiving, man.
It's
People hungry.
Thanksgiving,
You know,
yeah.
they was jumping in that
And
little
this is-
Salvation
That
Army.
is tradition.
I heard that
The kettle.
the kettle. They were jumping in and out of turkey.
It was in the kettle
Yes.
all day. They had them ready for us.
I'm
Too.
just gonna say, in all realness, man, the Cowboys are looking good.
Yes.
That's
The
it.
offense
Yes.
is looking good. The
Yes.
defense is looking good, and people are making it happen. So,
Has anybody heard anything on? Congratulations.
I was just gonna say congratulations to all the Cowboy fans out there. Cowboy
shout out
Nation,
to
y'all did
Cowboy
that.
Nation.
Yes.
Shout out to y'all. I see some of y'all
Y'all
on the
did
live
that.
hating, but we ain't gonna do that today.
Yeah,
We just
not
gonna,
today.
Cause they gonna say it's Washington, but see, it's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
JB, the one thing we know about
Washington.
the Redskins,
Mm-hmm.
the records go out the window.
You mean the Commandos?
When the
Commandos.
Commandos,
Yeah,
when the Commandos come to town, they switch everybody now.
Yeah.
But anyway, good game. But
Has anybody heard anything on Dion? What's going on with Colorado?
you know what?
Nothing.
They
That season is
lost.
over.
It was a
Yeah.
good game, the final game. But I listened to his whole press conference. I listened to the
You
whole
did?
25
So what did he
minutes.
say? I didn't hear.
You know what? The ticket is he put it in the right perspective. He said, like, look, I told y'all back then we was going to get into the thick of this thing.
Yeah.
Even though we kicked off good, I already told y'all we have some deficiencies and we finna deal with the heavyweights.
Mhm.
So I don't know. We're gonna go in here and we're gonna do what we can.
Yeah.
So he what I think is good, he celebrated his team. He thanked them for never giving up.
Yeah.
Life is about never giving up.
Yeah.
Because if you don't give up, you still winning, JB.
Yeah.
In
No
my
doubt.
mind.
That's true.
If you don't give up, you still winning.
That's right.
So what about no bowl game, right?
No. If you only win 4, no. No.
Don't you know no good?
No comprehende on the bowl. We can't do that.
And I'll
but-
say this, I said it from the very beginning. He actually showed that they actually have the ability with the right skill set, with the right tools, that they can actually compete.
well,
And I
here's the
think they gave
ticket.
them hope.
Can you imagine what the portal and recruiting and all of that? So
Man.
Dion said, y'all, we know where the gaps are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fill these gaps.
This
He
is year
said he
one.
kept receipts.
Yeah.
He said, so I'm sure that Colorado is gonna shock
Yeah.
some people a lot more next year. That's
Oh,
what I
yeah,
think.
for sure. I
So just want to
agree.
say
Congratulations, Dion.
on the team.
Congratulations, Dion.
Job
man.
well done on turning the program around too,
Absolutely.
man.
Around. Ain't nobody been talking about no Colorado buffs.
But check this out. I bet you they ain't saying nothing about them dollars they clocking on that merch.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
man, they getting them dollars.
They getting them
You
dollars
see Buffalo's gear everywhere now.
everywhere.
Yeah, I might
Yeah,
go get me a little hoodie with a watch on it.
Okay, right. All right, y'all ready for the Black History trivia?
Get your thinking caps on.
Oh, here we go. Black History trivia. Who was the first African American elected into the U.S. Senate? Was it A, Hiram Rhodes Rebels? Was it B, Blanche Bruce? Was it C, Edward Brooke? Or was it D, Carol Mosley Braun?
Woo. Say read it one more time.
Oh my God.
Read it one more.
Who was the first African American elected into the U.S. Senate? Was it A, Hiram Rhodes Rebels? Was it B, Blanche Bruce? Was it C, Edward Brooke? Or was it D, Carol Mosley Braun?
Who you got, JB?
Who you got? Who you got?
That's a tough one,
I
man.
can't go with the first answer today. I've been getting them wrong, so I want to see what y'all got. What y'all got?
You ain't going first?
I don't want to
All
go
right,
first.
Charles,
today.
that means it's on you.
Process of elimination.
Process of
I
elimination.
don't think it's Harold Rose. That just don't sound like the name of the
Okay.
senator. So if I'm wrong, my bad. You. If it's you, it's my bad. Bruce,
Blanche Bruce?
Blanche Bruce.
Nah.
Man,
I
I'm
don't
going with
know.
C, but I don't know.
Charles gonna go
Edward
C.
Brooks sound like he could be a senator.
Sam,
to me.
okay. What you, JB?
But I
your
don't
turn.
know.
I'm
going with C.
I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go. Well, my first thought was Carol Mosley Braun because her name is probably one of the most popular.
Right.
But you said first American U.S. Senate, so I'm gonna have to go with that name, Hiram Rhodes Rebels. Does something to me. That sounds like back in the day. So I'm
Back
gonna
in
go
the
with.
day.
Hey, what y'all think? Now, don't leave us hanging. Me
I'm
and
gonna go
JB
with
out
A.
there.
Y'all done jumped
I
out
said,
there.
I'm going C.
Yeah.
JB going A. What y'all going on the live?
Yeah.
Don't leave us hanging. It's
Mr.
hump day.
Energizer, you got my back?
Energizer, what you got? Let's get this all on the live. But my last they come in. We just
Bobby,
gonna
what
put
you
them on
got,
the
Bobby?
live.
Bobby, what you got?
You missed it.
Oh, we don't know what's going on around here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with A.
So we're gonna check out at the end of the show. We're gonna see what the answer is. I'm not gonna tell y'all, but you're gonna be surprised.
Yeah,
I'll just
what
say
we'll
that.
do, we'll take a quick break if that's okay.
Okay.
Because we're gonna get into a deep topic. We're gonna get into a deep little subject here. We want to give y'all some time to not be Googling.
Yeah.
Here's the question, give your answer. But when we come back, man, we're gonna get into this charter public private school and politics, man. So some of you people down there at the city, some of these secret listeners, there's many of y'all in here. Welcome to the show, Mom. Welcome to the show, Teresa.
Hey,
Mr.
hey,
Energizer. Yeah, we're gonna have to get into a real topic here. So y'all put y'all seatbelt on. We're gonna go deeper. KBOB 89.9 FM. World One Development News you can use. Charles and Damali. We'll be right back, y'all. You got your papers together. What's the difference between charter, public, and private? Are you
Charter
doing
and
short snippets,
public.
Or are you doing long reads?
No, this is just our information, so we can both read. I mean, you know,
Okay.
we can both say, you know, like read it and put it in your own
Are
words.
we still
whatever.
doing like national, then Oklahoma, then Tulsa?
I didn't do that. I just
It's
did.
just gonna be
This is just we're just giving basic information because we don't have a second show where we can come back and get into more meat.
I got
You
you.
know.
I just want to get my mind ready. But so do we even have how many charter schools or public or any of that? So it's
No, we're going to talk about what it is. But some people don't even know the difference between charter schools, public schools, and private schools. Some people don't know that. So we're going to talk about what those are and how they're funded. You know, the funding, you know, of where that comes from. And then that kind of gets into, so this will be this part 2.
okay.
What
We'll
we're
come
going to
back.
talk about. Yeah, we're gonna come back.
Yes, coming at you. My name is AJ.
He scared me.
Mhm. So we better just go kind of read. So we come back in
And
and
just talk about our opinions about it.
opinions about
Mhm.
that.
Don't get it.
Hey, yay. This is KBOB 89.9 FM World One Development News you can use. Charles and Damali, and we are back.
We are back. So we're going to talk in a little bit and we're just going to dive into this. And this is going to be a multiple part series.
Right.
So we'll just say that for right now. But we want to kind of set the foundation to
Yes.
give some basic information. So most of you guys probably, or if you don't know, if you're from another state, or if you are some of our international friends, you may or may not know that education is, terrible. I'm just going to say that. Education is terrible in the United States in some locations.
Right.
I will say for Oklahoma, we are ranked number 48
Out of
out
all
of
states.
50.
So we are at the bottom. We
We're at the
land
bottom
at
of
the
the
bottom, and that's kind of disheartening.
Yes.
That and it seemed like we've been that way for like years.
Yes.
So what we want to try to do today, because man, next year the elections are coming up, so that's why we kind of doing schools and come on, y'all, education is going to be very important.
Absolutely.
So
this put me into the mind of here in Tulsa. There was a whole big scandal about the Tulsa public school system,
right,
and our superintendent said that our superintendent ran what he said, our education system in Tulsa was like a bus that careened off of the side of the road, ran down a ravine and hit a tree.
I think that was a little bit extreme.
Yeah.
Whether I agree or disagree, it was kind of comical, kind of funny.
Right. But anyway, it's sad because this is at the expense of our children.
Absolutely.
And it's our responsibility to make sure that the next generation gets the tools and everything that they need. And it's really sad that we are in 2023 and we are taking away important issues that our children should know. We're taking the African American history out of schools,
right?
Which that is very important. That is something that you need to know, because you need to know the foundation of where you come from, so that history doesn't repeat itself and we end up having some of the same problems and issues that we had previously.
All right, so y'all get y'all the pen and pad out. Let's jump into some of this good stuff. I think we should kick off with what is the charter schools? Because it seems like charter schools are kind of popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and so basically a charter school is a school that actually receives government funding. So most of the school systems receive government funding. So let's just say that. But they are governed differently. Right. So a charter school actually receives government funding, but it actually operates independently of the regular school system. So example, in Tulsa, we have several charter schools.
Right.
I think there's 33 is, I think, the stat that I saw, that there are 33 charter schools here.
That's a lot.
And of those charter schools, they don't follow Tulsa Public Schools, schedule at all.
Right.
They kind of just do what, and I don't mean do what they want to do, because of course there are government regulations that say how they have to operate and how they have to function.
Right.
But so they have, as long as they're within those guidelines, then they're okay. But as far as their breaks don't necessarily have to coincide with Tulsa Public Schools. Some of the credits that are required for Tulsa Public Schools, they don't have to have those. They kind of do. You can also have prayer and religion, that you can't have in the traditional.
No, they typically do like the little lottery thing where they spin a little thing and pick the kids
some
that can come. Some do that. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, they have that. They can kind of do what they want to do as far as how they accept students into their programs and all of that. But they still have. There's always, because you're receiving government dollars.
Right.
So there's always going to be government tracking that you got to follow, and there's always going to be some kind of regulation. But it's more relaxed. They can kind of do what they want to do.
Right. So what about the public schools? Because to me, it seemed like TPS, which is a public school, is where you typically get these low scores in reading and in math and education and all that. Right. To me, that's what we really hit in the bottom. So what do you think is the biggest issue, like with the public schools here, in Tulsa? I mean, I'm not originally from here, but how did we get from were we ever doing great and then just ended up here? What?
I think that I will say this. I don't know how much segregation and desegregation helped or hurt us. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the reason I say that is this, because when we had all black schools, so when Booker T. Washington was all black, we were still having doctors and lawyers and pilots and dentists,
right,
and all of those things graduate. These folks were like top shelf. And then they came in and turned our school system into a magnet, or turned Booker T into a magnet school.
Oh, okay.
And started busing, white kids over into the black neighborhood to go to the school. Now the school receives more, but it was more like a project. to see how this would work. And then now, in my opinion, and I don't know what the stats are, but it seems to me that there's probably more white kids at Booker T than there are black kids, and the school sits right in the heart of North Tulsa.
Let me ask you this, JB, what you think about these public schools, man? What's really going on?
I recently heard that they had passed a new law where you didn't have to live in that zip code or in that district anymore.
Right.
You can literally go to whatever school you want to go to. I don't know if that's just in Oklahoma or if that's across the state, but I mean, I'm all for it. Charter schools, definitely, I'm for them. They have a lot of benefits.
Right.
I think there's they have a better connection to the communities they're in.
Most of them do. Yeah.
The public schools, vice versa. It's just a disconnect there. There's a huge disconnect with the parents, the relationships with the teachers. My mother, she taught school for 30 years.
Man,
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
she just retired a couple years ago, and it was it become to get tough on her trying to teach young children who weren't getting taught at home. Just simple rules and respect and morals and discipline. It was becoming a tough thing. So
when we say the public schools, it's mainly because of funding, or the teachers paid less, they don't have the support, the supplies, the school, transportation. What would you
I think that, in my opinion,
right?
I think that the upper echelon of the heads of the schools, they're getting all of the money. It's not trickling down to the people who are actually in the schools actually doing the work.
That, and they consolidated a lot of schools too, down to smaller schools got shut down across the state. That eliminated one problem with some schools not having enough kids, but it also caused a problem for the bigger schools to have overcrowded classrooms.
Right.
And that just, 20 students is I think the max should be in a class, and some classes were up to 30 kids.
Yeah.
And that's too much for one teacher.
With all those different personalities and all that. That's
it's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with. And I think too that because teachers are not being paid what they should be paid. Like when my kids were coming up, the teachers that they had at Walt Whitman, Miss Brown, and all those teachers over there, man, I'm telling you, there was some educators. My babies was doing timetables. They knew the whole timetables better than I did in kindergarten. I mean, they was, reciting the Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech. They just knew so much. Those educators were amazing, and I just don't see teachers like that anymore. There are a few. But I'm just saying that they are so few and far between because they started going to, where they can pay them less, Teach for America. Nothing wrong with the program. I think some of those teachers that come out of there, they do an amazing job and they want to do a good job. But I just feel like they are not getting paid their worth. And so they only can do what they can do.
I don't think that's what it is. I know what it is.
What is that?
I know exactly what it is. Y'all put your listening ears
on.
I'm
afraid.
What you got, Charles?
I'm afraid. Okay, go
What's
ahead.
different between the teachers and kids and the issues? I think everything could be solved with that powder with them holes in it.
Woo, Mr. McGowan. Woo, Mr. McGowan.
Y'all think about that on the live. Y'all come talk to me now. So I'm gonna skip over all of that and say that I think the behavior.
Yeah. We got a bomb.
It sounds just like that. That probably hit that. Some of y'all old schools getting here with
old thunder.
Man, back in the day, you got your mind right because somebody, a coach or your teacher, somebody, you still know whoever was legendary.
You heard me say Mr. McGowan.
Mr. Alexander,
the arts.
Mr. Johnson,
all our coaches. Coach Perkins, Coach Kate,
my math,
Rosenberg.
My algebra teacher, she was lethal. Miss Caesar.
No.
One thing you would really be, this one you know you're going to get the principals.
No.
Normally the principals stay in suits, but our principals can light you up. You would be like, you don't, it's like you disrespect.
But this is the other thing too.
Right.
But if you know that if you are being taught at home, because I can remember I got in trouble a couple times, very seldom, but I got in trouble a couple times and they said, do you want SWATs? Or do you want me to call your mama? I said, go on ahead and give me them SWATs, baby. I'll take the SWATs for $500.
And see, that lets you know the difference nowadays too, because that's a close call.
Yeah.
See, because the paddles, that wasn't fun. But you're like, well, if I go home, that's the thing where you better not go out to that school disrespecting me.
That's right.
So I think it boiled down to two things.
My mom was like, if I got to come up to that school,
I think it's two. I think it's two things. Y'all check me out on the live, and they hang out close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer
Yeah.
and paddling.
The-
Ah.
P and P.
P and P effect.
P and P is the problem.
Yes, the
Definitely.
P and P effect. Yes.
when they took the prayer out of schools,
Yes.
Man,
it shifted the whole what do you call it?
Dynamics
You know,
of
the whole
everything.
dynamic of how you could reach out to children. You know,
And I'm trying to wonder if they were trying to do the thing because everybody is not the same religion. And I
Right.
get it. You know, so if you're trying to have a Muslim child saying a Christian prayer, then that ain't gonna work because then you got the Christian parents, or I'm sorry, the Muslim parents mad because my kid is, you know, Muslim, not Christian. You know, so I kind of get that. If you're Buddhist or whatever your religious preference is, then I kind of get,
right.
you know, why they're saying no, we're just gonna pull that out of schools. But it did something to our kids.
It did something to the kids, and I'm definitely not gonna hop on that because
Yeah.
there's so many different religions, and I don't want nobody
Between
mad.
that
But I'm just going
and
back.
parents being able to scared to discipline their children too.
Right.
Now that's another thing. You know, parents being, you know, because back in the day, my mom was like, "I wish you would pick up that phone and call somebody. You ain't got no phone.
Yeah.
You know, who is you
But
calling? We ain't calling DHS."
okay, so we hit the charter,
Mhm.
we hit the public now, but these private schools,
So private school is basically it's another school
right?
where you actually the parents finance the education.
Came along like the Prince of Bel Air.
Hey, there you go, right there.
Because in my mind, when I look at Oklahoma being ranked number 48 at the bottom of the barrel,
Right.
when I think about these private schools, and I think about Holland Hall and Bishop Kelly and
Castle
Hall
Hall.
and all of
still,
them,
and they still get some government funding, but you know, parents got to put in too.
they got to put them dollars in there.
Uh-huh.
So that make, and I think like schools like Holland Hall, it's not like $250 a week. It ain't like daycare, y'all.
No,
It's like $2,500, $3,000
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah, it's expensive to go to private school, and
Hey,
I think the children that go to private schools are living a different lifestyle than the
Absolutely.
children that are going to a public school or a
Absolutely.
charter school because
Yeah.
they're, might as well say it, a little privileged.
Yeah.
You know,
privilege.
if your
Okay.
parents can afford to pay for your schooling,
And it, because those schools are still have got some government funding,
yeah,
then they offer scholarships. So that's why you get some kids that do come from, you know, some of these disadvantaged homes that end up being able to go to some of those schools because, you know, they offer scholarships for those kids.
For some of them, let me ask you this: do you feel like predominantly private school is big percentage are white kids versus the black kids?
Mhm.
And that
I do.
most of the black kids are in public school or maybe even the charter schools with the less funding, with
Mhm.
paying the teacher
Absolutely.
less, with the overcrowdedness.
Yeah.
So you think that might be what the
Yeah.
recipe is that's got us in this situation where we operating so low?
Yeah, I
but
think so.
too, when Damali said, you know, it's more white children go to school at Booker T now.
Mhm.
They don't live in the hood.
Yeah, yeah.
But they made Booker T a magnet school, or you know, college
just like
type
Harvard.
prep
Yeah.
academy,
Yeah.
where you know for some reason a lot of white children wanted to go to school out there,
Mhm.
and their parents
Yeah.
all for it. You know, in one of the hardest neighborhoods to grow up in Tulsa,
Right.
but
And I'll say this, for me, and this is just Damali talking. Me actually going to Booker T, actually being a part of that culture,
yeah,
it actually prepared me, you know, and I don't know if that was their goal, but it actually prepared me to be able to get into the real world and deal with everybody.
Can I ask you this, Damali? Because you're a Booker T Hornet with a big stinger up
And
here in the
yes.
radio station. I heard that Uncle Bobby class was actually the last all-black class
Mhm.
at Booker T. So we say that, okay, that's 50 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, and my thought is that's why we saying private, charter, public, politics.
Right.
So how all of a sudden you end up where 50 years ago that was the last class of all black.
Mhm.
Now I'm just asking this. I'm not from here originally.
Right.
It seemed like Booker T almost a white school. Damali,
It
I'm just
is.
being honest with y'all.
It
What's
is.
going on when
It is.
when people think around the world Booker T
Mhm.
is a black school?
Right.
I'm here.
Right.
I go to Booker T. I done been to a homecoming. I see, and I'm like, it look like y'all might be 50-50 right about now.
is that a good
I
thing?
actually
Is that
think it's
a
more 60-40 to be honest.
does
It's
it?
a 60-40 white.
Uh-huh.
But let me ask, I'm just asking this in my mind, right? Because I think about, because I can't help it. I
Right.
think about the massacre. I think about some of the other situations with all of this other stuff, and I'm like, it seemed like y'all school was the big thing that y'all did have.
Right.
You know, we producing doctors, lawyers,
Mhm.
business people, and all of that, and you got one black school
One black
in
school.
all of North Tulsa. You got all these other schools and Union, King,
Mhm.
South Tulsa, big, all of that, but yet you still want to come over to the one black school.
And that's a lot. That's what a lot of the old timers say. You know,
Now I
a lot
love
of the
everybody,
ancestors.
y'all. I'm just asking because I'm not from here, but
Yeah.
I'm just.
Do
like
you
y'all
think
have
it
fun.
alienates the black students or keeps them from
It
having
does.
access to?
It does, because even so during my time, you know, McLean was for everybody else.
Don't do
And-
my claim like that.
No, I'm
Don't
just
do the
saying,
Scotch
that's
like
how-
my bishop went to. I got a lot of look Scotch family and friends out there. I didn't say this now. I love
No, I'm
McLean.
saying that's how they pitted us against each other. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
the field slave, the house slave.
Oh my God, I ain't saying nothing.
I'm
This is
just
my
saying.
She'll Hornet. I know her. Y'all get
I'm
down.
just saying. So it was like, you know, those of us who went to Booker T,
Okay.
you know, everybody else who didn't, you know, get in was like, oh, Booker T girls are bougie. But, you know, I mean, it was just always something. But it was almost like, you know, it's pitting us against one another.
Right.
You know, now when we in community,
Y'all
you know,
together.
we all love each other.
Yeah,
We
that's
had-
the North
have
Side
fun and
rivals.
stuff. Yeah, it's like the North Side rivalry.
Let me tell you something. Now I done been by McLean homecoming, and I just show up. You know, I ain't went to nobody's school. I do some ribs, and falling off the bone, and I'm telling you, they be turned up at McLean.
Yeah,
But they be turned up at Booker T too. But you're
Absolutely.
saying politics can separate y'all
exactly.
and make it look one way, when in community,
Right.
everything is all good.
And so then what you end up doing is McLean has less books, Booker T has some better books. Now they ain't all that great, but I'm
Right.
just
That's
saying,
a little bit better.
because if we still at number 48, ranked number 48 in the state, you know what I'm saying? Out of all the states, then it's not that much better. But what I'm saying is, you know, it's like we're the haves and they're the have-nots. Why are we doing that? Because these are our kids in community, so we should be educating all of them equally the same.
So so y'all schools end up merging like during segregation, or did it just it's a magnet school and you have to apply to go to Booker T
Mhm.
and that and because I can't imagine a kid being across the street from Booker T and can't go.
You can live
And the
right
kids-
next door to the school and can't go.
That is not
Wow,
fair.
no
I'm just saying
way.
something like that is not fair.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That is absolutely true.
That's true.
Didn't know
You
that.
have to apply. And I don't know what it is now, but back when I was in school, I graduated in 1986. And so back when I was in school, then, you know, it was considered to be a privilege for you to actually be at Booker T.
Okay.
Now we in the
Mm,
hood,
mm, mm.
we've been in the hood our whole lives, you know what I'm saying? Our mamas, and you know, my mama went there, my aunties, uncles, all that went to Booker T because that was the only school you could go to.
The only black
Right, but
school.
now it was a privilege for you to be there, and if you did something that they felt was egregious, then they kicked you out and sent you back to your home school.
Right.
You know, so then you had that humiliation of being kicked out and sent back to your home school, and you might go for a semester, and then if your grades or whatever improved or whatever your issue was improved, then you were able to come back.
So we'll do a recap on this and probably get Janetti Marshall in here,
Yes.
who's a school board member, because man, one thing about Tulsa that I understand, y'all fight at y'all school board meetings. I didn't know.
Man, it get
That's
real.
what I know. So I want to get more. We'll have her come in
They
because
don't
Yeah.
play.
the one thing we know, and shout out to Janetti Marshall, man,
Yes.
she represents
She's
about
not
fairness.
playing the game.
and she's not playing the game. So we're gonna get
Yeah.
in here. So we'll dig a little bit more because we don't want to give no misinformation. It's just that our education is so low. We feel like we need to do something. And we know when it comes to politics,
Yeah.
people acting like they're gonna do something to help with schools and fund schools and do that, get in office, and we still at the bottom.
Yeah.
And we got to do better. So we're gonna take a real quick break.
Yes.
When we come back, we're gonna get into the pros and cons of the government being involved
Mhm.
and trying to balance this out. KBOB 89.9 FM, World One Development, news you can use. Charles DeMolly,